You land at Yogyakarta International Airport, YIA, you get signal, and your brain does the most universal travel thing in Indonesia. You type Yogyakarta Airport taxi. Because you're not trying to solve a puzzle with luggage in one hand and a dying phone in the other. You just want to get to the city. And if you're doing the classic Indonesia route, Java plus Bali, this is exactly the moment where your whole day either starts smooth or starts messy. Here's the reality check. YIA is not in the city. It's roughly 45 kilometers from central Yogyakarta, so your transfer choice matters. We're ranking everything by three things: what's cheap, what's fast, and what's actually predictable. And I'm going to be annoying about predictable because people think they're buying predictability and then they end up buying stress. Let's start with the airport train, Railink. On paper, this is the speed champ. The ride to Yogyakarta Tugu station is usually around 35 minutes, and the ticket is typically about 20,000 to 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. That's roughly $1.20 to $3, depending on the ticket and the day, using a ballpark rate of about 16,850 Indonesian rupiah per $1. Train can be fast, and it can be cheap. But here's the part nobody tells you when they call it predictable. Predictable isn't just the train ride. It's your timing plus your last mile. If your flight lands between departures, you wait. Then you still have to get from the station to your hotel, often around Malioboro or nearby. So your simple plan can quietly turn into a two-step arrival. Fast, often. Predictable end-to-end, not automatically. Next is the shuttle or bus option. This is usually the cheap lane, and it can be totally fine if you're traveling light and you're not in a rush. A common shuttle route is often around 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, and you'll usually see prices in the neighborhood of 50,000 to 70,000 Indonesian rupiah. That's roughly $3 to $4. Great price, but you pay with time and comfort. You're on a schedule, you might have stops, and traffic can stretch it. It's cheap, it's workable, it's just not the "I want zero friction" option after a flight. Now we get to the big one, Yogyakarta Airport taxi. Taxi is the comfort move because it's door-to-door. No transfers, no stations, no extra steps. And the typical benchmark into central areas like Malioboro is often around 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. Price-wise, a very common estimate range you'll see is about 220,000 to 270,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is roughly $13 to $16. But here's the catch, and this matters. The price and the whole experience can still change in the moment. Even if there's structure at the airport, counters, zones, systems, airport reality is still airport reality. Peak arrivals, queue times, availability swings, and traffic that can turn easy into "why are we still here?" Also, depending on what you end up with, pricing can vary by operator and situation. So yes, taxi can be comfortable, but comfort does not automatically equal predictable. So let's define predictable like an adult. Predictable means you land, you walk out, you're met, your car is ready, and your plan doesn't collapse if something changes. Predictable means you're not negotiating, not guessing, and not watching prices shift because the moment got busy. And that's why the most predictable option is pre-booking, specifically with GetTransfer, because you're not deciding after you land. You're locking a plan before the chaos. Here's what that looks like when you actually arrive. If your flight is delayed, your GetTransfer driver waits. You walk into arrivals and they meet you with a name sign. So it's not, "Where are you standing?" and "Can you send your location?" while you're surrounded by noise. If you have luggage, they help with your bags. If something goes sideways, traffic, road closures, last-minute changes. A real driver reroutes in real time because humans solve real-life problems faster than any system can. And if it's your first time in Yogyakarta, they can give quick local recommendations too. What's actually worth seeing, what to skip, where to go for the vibe you want. That's comfort in the moment of arrival. Not comfort on paper, real comfort when you're tired. And here's the part that makes it truly predictable. You can choose the driver in advance. By price, by rating, by the exact car. So you're not standing outside thinking, "What am I getting today?" You're picking the vehicle, the comfort level, the reputation, and the price before you land. That's the whole point of real drivers for real rides. Real people for real life. Especially in Indonesia, where travel days can change fast. and especially if you're juggling plans between Java and Bali. So if you landed at YIA and searched Yogyakarta Airport taxi, here's the clean takeaway. If you want fast and cheap, the train is often around 35 minutes and about 20,000 to 50,000 Indonesian rupiah, roughly $1 to $3. If you want cheap and you don't mind time, shuttles are often around 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes and about 50,000 to 70,000 Indonesian rupiah, roughly $3 to $4. If you want comfort, taxis are often around 45 to 60 minutes and about 220,000 to 270,000 Indonesian rupiah, roughly $13 to $16. But the price and experience can still change depending on the moment. And if you want predictable, you don't gamble after landing. You pre-book, choose your driver by rating, price, and car, and you arrive to a plan, meet and greet, luggage help, waiting for delays, and rerouting when real life happens. That's not extra. That's just traveling smart.